Starship Updates, SpaceX launches another batch of Starlink. Rocket Lab launches Payload for National Reconnaissance Office. China launches communications satellite. SpaceX launches CRS-30 mission. After the amazing third test flight of Starship, the teams returned to work on the Stage 0. Scaffolding was erected over the orbital platform. There is no significant impact from the launch, but checks must be made on the 20 clamps and other systems on the orbital pad and the water-cooled steel plate. Work is also being done on the chopsticks in preparation for the next Super Heavy booster lift for flight. Super Heavy Booster 11. Booster 11 has completed cryogenic tests at the Massey site and has now been in the Mega Bay for nearly 2 months installing its 33 engines. It is expected to come to the launch site as soon as work is done there to test the engines. The next flight ship, Starship 29, also conducted its cryogenic tests at the Massey site in recent months. On March 11th, SpaceX conducted a spin prime test of the ship's engines on the suborbital Pad B. On the day before the third launch, the ship was returned to the production site to avoid any damage from the launch. The ship's lifting device was returned to the site, and the crane was raised on site again in preparation for the new return of Ship 29. On Friday morning, Highway 4 was closed and Ship 29 was rolled to suborbital Pad B for upcoming static fires. The road closure has been submitted for testing on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. All closures will last for 12 hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We may witness a static fire test of the ship's engines during one of these days. On Monday, March 18th at 7:28 p.m. Pacific Time, Falcon 9 launched Starlink Group 716 with 22 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Nico. Stage separation confirmed. And back ignition.
This is the 10th flight for the first stage booster supporting this mission, Booster 1075, which previously launched SDA_0A, Sarah 2, and now 8 Starlink missions. Falcon 9's first stage has landed on the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship in the Pacific Ocean. The satellite's deployment successfully confirmed. On March 21st, 3:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the National Reconnaissance Office successfully launched the NROL 123 mission aboard a Rocket Lab Electron rocket from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 2 at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility. NROL 123 mission is launching 3 collaborative research missions through Launch Service acquired using the NROL rapid acquisition of a small rocket contract. MECO, main engine cutoff, stage separation, and the ignition of the second stage engine. The second stage engine was cut off at T+9 minutes and the kick stage separated. Rocket Lab did not show the rest of the mission, but the success of the mission and the success of the 46th launch of the Electron rocket were confirmed. This week, China launched a new relay satellite on Wednesday to provide Earth-Moon communication services, a key step for its future lunar exploration missions, such as retrieving samples from the far side of the moon. A Long March 8th rocket, carrying the satellite dubbed Keiqiao 2, or Magpie Bridge 2, soared into the sky at 8:31 a.m. from the Wenchang Space Launch Site in South China's Hainan Province. After 24 minutes of flight, the satellite separated from the rocket and entered the planned Earth-Moon transfer orbit. On Thursday, March 21st at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Time, Falcon 9 launched Dragon's 30th Commercial Resupply Services mission, CRS-30, to the International Space Station from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. This is the first launch of the Dragon from Launch Pad 40 in 4 years. It carries more than 6,000 pounds of scientific research, supplies, and hardware to the orbiting laboratory, such as multi-resolution scanner. The multi-resolution scanner, MRS, Payload for the Astro-B project aims to test sensors and robotics for automated 3D sensing, mapping, and situational awareness functions. It supports potential applications in future Gateway and lunar missions, such as defect detection, maintenance, autonomous vehicle operations, and surface scanning using rovers. Returning to launch at T+2 minutes and 20 seconds, the main engine was cut off, followed by separation of the stages and ignition of the second stage engine. This is the sixth flight of the first stage booster supporting this mission Booster 1080, which previously launched AX-2, ESA Euclid, AX-3, and 2 Starlink missions. Falcon 9's first stage landed at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station Landing Zone 1.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Wow, wonderful views of that first stage landing.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
CRS-30 is the fourth flight for this Dragon spacecraft, which previously flew CRS-22, CRS-24, and CRS-27 to the space station. The spacecraft separated from the second stage at T+11 minutes and 50 seconds to begin its journey towards the station. SpaceX Dragon cargo spacecraft docked to the International Space Station's Harmony module at 7:19 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Saturday, March 23.